is it possible the American chapter of this might actually be closed?
Yeah, it's possible. And I think the most likely and most favorable scenario, again, there's so many caveats I can add to this, but you guys will see where I'm going with this. Israel will continue to pummel Iran for the next week or two, continue to devastate them because they do not have any aerial defense right now, and Israel is going to take advantage. America should do nothing else. Both sides have said they want this war to end quickly, and we cannot be involved in any sort of regime change because regime change will go on and on and on. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to try to tempt us into some sort of a regime change war.
Totally.
That is not our fight. That is not our fight. That's not our battle. We cannot do it.
Alex, I'll throw it back to you in a second.
No problem.
Let me just read here. Qatar's defense systems intercepted 9 out of 10 missiles launched by Iran, with 1 missile landing in an open area. And so it looks like all the missiles to Qatar, 9 out of 10 were intercepted. This is what happens when you kind of give a little bit of like an hour to 2 hour, hey, we're going to attack. We're going to attack. Alex, what does this say for the supreme leader? It seems that the head of Iran did not want to see an escalation with America. They truly fear President Trump, as they should. So President Trump's words now have real meaning for what he did in Fordo. Could it be so that President Trump just set an entire message for the rest of the world that you better listen when I talk?
Yeah, I think, Charlie, you and I called this last week on your show. We talked about this exact thing, is that Trump's word matters. It always has. And he's always said that they are not going to be allowed to have nuclear capabilities. He's been saying this for a decade and a half. So obviously, if they're going to continue to flaunt him when he's in a position of deep power, and they've been very much weakened by Israeli strikes over the last few weeks, of course, this was going to be something that Trump was going to do. He said he was going to wait 2 weeks, typical unpredictable Trump fashion. He only waited a couple days, dropped some devastating attacks, and now he's out. And the American public is on the side of aerial defense. They're not on the side of regime change. And my prediction is Trump will stick with that.
Alex, stay right there. Blake, I'm going to throw it to you for a second. We do not know the extent of the attack at Iraq. The Bahrain sirens are still going off, so there could be an attack on Bahrain. Let's get the map back up here. Bahrain has closed its airspace, so we are now seeing potentially another volley towards Bahrain. Bahrain is a very small country. This map is not helpful at all, but you see Saudi Arabia there.
It's super tiny.
Yes, but
Saudi Arabia,
there's 2 clusters. The 2 clusters on the eastern part of Saudi Arabia. The southernmost one is the Qatari. The northern one is Bahrain.
Exactly. It's literally like the icons they're using on that are like larger than Bahrain. It's a tiny island. I doubt it's that much larger even than
So I'm curious. Some people are emailing us saying, Charlie, even though they didn't kill any Americans, they want to see a huge response from America. Is that your position? freedom@charliekirk.com. Should we now escalate this if no Americans die? I don't know if that's my position. I think President Trump could take a massive victory here, which is that we bombed them hard, no Americans died, and that's it. No regime change, no boots on the ground. By the way, this was factored in. This was a expected, response. By the way, we know that Iran probably wanted an exit ramp. Take the win. That's my position. Email us, freedom@charliekirk.com. 3 different media outlets are now reporting no injuries. Not even injury, let alone a death. Praise the Lord. Again, this is the MAGA doctrine. This is the Trump doctrine. Force, exert the force, use it, be unapologetic in the use of it. Limited, decisive, aggressive, violent, prudent action. Blake, let's kind of go through the dynamics here. Why would we not respond even though that they sent missiles towards us and no one died? Why should we take the win here?
Well, because when you think about like what are we hoping to get done here? The reason we got involved is hopefully to do as much damage to Iran's nuclear program as possible, because that was what Trump's goal was. He says Iran will not get a nuclear weapon. And when we think, what are the bad outcomes that could happen here? The bad outcome is we get sucked into some sort of cycle of constant strike and retaliation and strike back. It would be a huge failure case if we end up with boots on the ground. And how do you end up in a situation with boots on the ground, even if you say you don't? If you're constantly having these strikes go back and forth, we need to get back at them for something they did. And if this strike did in fact have no casualties, we kind of have the perfect excuse to go, all right, they made their response and it was totally impotent. We clearly don't even need to worry about what they have to shoot at us other than their nuclear program, which we just hit and did a bunch of damage to. It perfectly works out for us to be able to say, we win, we take our ball, we go home.
No impacts at the Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. And so that is from every source that we have as well.